So that was an interesting game against LMQ. Can you give us a little bit of a breakdown of what happened that game?
In that game, we called for a lane swap, and then we didn't fall for the same trick where Ackerman just hit in the brush. So we checked the brushes first of all. And we started it off pretty explosively in the game. They were really struggling to get Ackerman back in the game just because he failed getting an experienced top. And then they forced a really early dragon, in which we drew out for a really long time, essentially nullifying the dragon gold for the experiencing gold for Ackerman. And then after that, it was just a lot of roaming, a lot of action in the beginning of the game. We took all the following dragons, I think the second, third one, took a lot of buffs, good fights. We were, I think, up 10-3, but then our vision control and Baron bait just collapsed. We were not able to perform Baron bait anywhere near anything that's acceptable. So we tried on again and again and again, and our Baron base just failed so much that eventually they ended up getting it without even fighting. And then from then on, the game just snowballed in our favor with a couple of poor team fights.
Why do you think the Baron baits didn't work out in your favor?
I think the problem was that we tunnel vision too much on the positioning that we needed, that we thought we needed. So when we did a lot of the baits, we had like one person Kiwi just sitting in one brush while all of us were inside the pit. But they had a lot of abilities to face check, especially with Twisted Fate Port if they needed to. Like Gragas Barrel or Corky Rockets, Lee Sin Qs could just check every brush. So what we needed to do was just loop around and find them from a different position, just because if they were to go into Kiwi, since we were already at the Baron pit, the distance that we have to cross to actually get to them and get something done, it's just too much and impossible to make anything happen.
Speaking of the Gragas pick, during picks and bans phase, why didn't you guys end up banning him?
We felt like Gragas, even though he's a really strong champion, we came into it knowing what we were going to do against him. Yasuo does very well in lane against him, and just the fact that we took Braum already kind of nullifies the champion just because his shield can stop the Gragas ultimate. So that's really, as soon as we got Braum, we're like, okay, we don't really care too much about the Gragas pick anymore.
And then that Braum pick, actually, Kiwi Kid did a really good job, and he got really fed. In that instance, why is that so important?
Well, he got fed just because I'm pretty sure he just KS a lot of the kills, but him getting really strong just means a better vision coverage and a little bit more of a tanky front line. It doesn't really add too much to the team. Preferably, you'd want the kills on other people. So besides that, like, he just did a really good job roaming. Early mobility boots forcing the other team to react to what we were doing. And from then on, the game just came down to us failing to transition into kills at Baron.
So what are you guys going to do now to make sure that doesn't happen again and to fix that?
I think the most important thing is to go back and practice Baron bait a lot.
Now, going into playoffs, I know that your position is either 5th or 6th. Can you tell me where you land and what fate you guys may end up being in now?
Right now, I think, yeah, we're definitely 5th to 6th place because CLG, if they lose a game, they still tie us, but they have the head-to-head. So we'd be playing either the 4th place team, which should probably be CLG, or if we get 6th place, depending on Curse's game, we'd be playing the 3rd place team, which should be probably TSM or C9. I'm not exactly sure. I think C9, TSM by this point. I haven't really checked it that much, but it doesn't really lie on us anymore, and whichever opponent we end up facing is going to be a very difficult one.
Are you hoping for any particular team, or are you just going to start practicing for each team?
Not really. You know, I can't be thinking about, oh, I can't wait to play this team at this point, just because you play CLG and you know they're going to come back strong from Korea, so that they have that going for them. Either C9 or TSM, both really strong teams. Even though we have a good record against TSM, you know, you can't count them out. Then you have, I don't know what would happen if we were to play Curse, but they're kind of the weirder of the teams, just because you don't really know what they're going to throw at you with some random picks. So that's a scary factor about Curse. So we're just going to look to practice for improving what we feel like we need to improve.
Now that you guys are done after the Super Week, what do you think you guys are going to be doing now? Are you going to take a little bit of break, or are you going to keep practicing and keep on going at it?
I think there can't be any breaks at this point. Personally, I'm just going to practice even harder, right? I mean, if you just think about it and remember that it's practically only 3 weeks left, right? Like, some people's careers may end in 3 weeks if they don't make it to Worlds. That's not saying anything for myself, but just saying that it's happened before. People are like, oh, right, you know, you got to squeeze it all into this. You don't know what's going to happen at the end. So you got to put it all on the line for the 3 weeks. And then besides, if we do well, we end up going to Worlds. That's still like 3 months vacation later on. So, I mean, you can just take the work here and get the vacation later.
Right. Well, good luck to you. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, just shout out to Team Dignitas fans and all of its sponsors.
Well, I look forward to seeing how you guys play in playoffs. For everyone else, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content.
Pushing out the lanes, he showed up bot to push out the lanes just because they were getting frozen on and couldn't farm. But at the end of the day,
You're gonna come back like Goku style and just be like, and just totally destroy the NA scene.
What was that? What are they going to be like?